Hello, Anna here. Today I'd like to speak to you about narrative tenses. So, for example, the past simple, the past continuous, and the past perfect. These are tenses that we use to tell a story or to make a story more interesting. Obviously, the best place to find them then is in a story, but reading stories in the original language can be difficult. Thankfully, there are books that are called graded readers, and so basically these are books that use a simplified English, so they're not too difficult to understand and there aren't too many new words that you have to look up. One company that produces these books is Macmillan, and on their website they have a page dedicated to sample chapters. So this means that you can read the first chapter of some of their books to see if you like the story before you buy it. There are books by famous authors, so for example, The Three Musketeers or Frankenstein, but there are also biographies about famous people, for example, Nelson Mandela or Princess Diana. So there's a lot of choice there. You can find the link in the description. So let's talk about these narrative tenses. So the most common one is, of course, the past simple. And you can use the past simple to talk about actions or events that happen one after the other in chronological order. So, for example, you could say, I woke up this morning, I had a cup of coffee, and I had a shower. Okay, it's okay to use the past simple, but if you use just the past simple, then it might get a bit boring. So to shake things up a bit and to add a bit of variety and interest to your language, you can also use the past continuous, which is basically the past of the present continuous. And it has two uses in the story. First of all, it can sort of set the background, describe the situation or the setting of the story. So, for example, I could say, when I woke up this morning, the birds were singing and the sun was shining. Yeah, so that could be a good example of how to use it like that. Often we use it also to say that something was in progress, usually when it was interrupted by another single event in the past, and for that we use the past simple. So, for example, I could say, I woke up this morning, I had a cup of coffee, and I had a shower. While I was having a shower, the phone rang. Okay, yeah, something like that. Okay, the third tense that you can use in a story is the past perfect. So this is an interesting one because you can use the past perfect when you are already talking about the past, but you want to refer to something that happened before that time. Or if it's important to make it clear that one thing happened before another. Because the past simple, as we said before, is used for talking about things that happen one after the other. Where maybe you want to do like a flashback and talk about something that happened before that time. Or maybe it's important to make a difference and say that the two things are not chronological, but they are separate in time. So an example of this could be, you could say something like, I woke up late this morning because I had forgotten to set the alarm the night before. So if you use all of these tenses, you can make your stories much more interesting. And if you'd like to practice these tenses, then I recommend the website ELT Base. It's got a lot of great exercises on narrative tenses. And two that I particularly enjoy, and I've put the links in the description, are one that talks about problems during a flight and another one that talks about a bike trip. Another thing that you can do is you can think about a year in your past. So let's say if we take the year 2010 and ask yourself questions about your situation then. So what were you doing in 2010? Were you working or studying? What important things had you already done or achieved? Which interesting places had you already visited? If you would like to answer any of these questions, or if you have any other comments, I'll be more than happy to help you. And for more advice and tips, follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks and see you soon.